Hey everybody, it's Diandra Marie, and sitting to my right of me is one of the dopest artists in the game right now, bar none. She has made such a huge following, gained such a huge following on social media with her various art pieces like the one she's sitting on and the one right behind us. She's had 4 major art galleries in the tri-state area. Her clientele includes Big Sean, Hill Harper, Rick Ross, and most recently 50 Cent. So sitting next to me is Olivia, but you might know her as Fiyab0mb. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction.
You look so bashful. It's about you. That's true, right? Those were facts, right?
I still get shy. I guess I still get really, really shy.
Okay.
So but thank you so much.
No problem. No need to get shy. And we're just gonna jump in because you've been doing art all your life. So what made you want to make art your passion, your career? Because you know how they say, artists don't make any money. Starving artists, blase, blase. Why did you want to choose art as your career?
I wanted to choose art as my career because it's the only thing that I honestly love to do. So after college, I was working at a nail salon, and I was making ends meet with a nail salon, and I hated working there. And in between time, I would catch myself doodling, I would catch myself sketching, and then it became such a consistent everyday thing that I just kept wanting to get better and better and better. And it was one day I decided to teach myself how to paint. And then I grew such an enormous passion for it that I just decided to never go back. So I wanted to make it my life, and I knew and I was prepared for just everything that was going to come with it, the hard work, the dedication, the fighting enemies off or whatever. I knew I was ready for it, and I just wanted to begin it there and then. I wanted to start right now.
Okay.
So I told myself I would dedicate myself to this journey. Yeah.
Okay. So now you left out a little detail. You were working at a nail salon, and it wasn't really what you wanted to do. Mm-hmm. But let's tell the whole story. You said you had a conversation with Big Sean.
I did.
Okay. So how do you know Big Sean? And then what did he say? What was it that got to you that was like, I need to quit and this is going to be my life from now on?
When I was working at a nail salon, I probably had the following of maybe 500 people, mm-hmm. and he had a contest, and he was calling all artists, videographers, just any designers, logo designers, and he was just asking everyone to send their artwork to him. Okay. And one of my followers, he knew I was drawing every single day, so he decided to at me in the post, and every single day I was drawing a picture of him. And I realized, I was like, okay, I'm drawing a picture of him, and they're really good pictures, but he's not seeing it. Okay. He's not seeing the picture. He's not liking it. Mm-hmm. And then it was just one day, I'm like, you know what? It's so little, it's small. That's why. I was just like, if I did something really big, he would see it, and he would know that it's there. So it was just one day I taught myself how to paint, and the first time I ever taught myself how to paint was when I did his piece. Okay. And I decided to do a 6-foot picture of him, a painting, and I did it actually in this this dining room, and it got back to a girl that I went to college with. Okay. Her name is Bria Benz, mm-hmm. and she actually knows him. Oh, and then she also knows his best friend, which is his assistant publicist. Right. And I got in contact with him, and I think it was the week later after that he liked my picture, and I freaked out when I saw Big Sean liked your photo. Uh-huh. I cried. I'm not gonna lie, and because I love Big Sean, and I love his message. I love good music, and I went and I emailed his publicist saying thank you so much for showing it to him. I'm glad he saw it, and I was wondering if it's okay. He was in the process of relocating to his new house in LA. Okay. And I was just like, it's a gift. If I could send it to you and you could send it to him, it would be awesome. But at the time for Hall of Fame, his second album, he was on tour with Kid Cudi. Right. And he came to Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. And his publicist wrote me back, and he said, you know what, Liv, I want you to meet him yourself. and I'll get you tickets front row. I went to the concert. I loved the concert. I loved the concert, and his message in like the concert was amazing. He was just telling everybody about like how he knew what it felt like to not be able to pay rent. He knew what it felt like to not make ends meet, sleep on his girlfriend's couch in the basement, like when he wasn't like where he is now. And then like to share a conversation with him afterwards. So I think afterwards we, like me, my best friend Bria, what's it called? We were all hanging out with him for like an hour, and he was talking to me, and we were talking about his piece, and I brought him the piece that day, and like just to hear him say like, you know, like life is too short to not do what you want to do. Like it's so important to like really live your life and be able to just go at what you feel like your purpose is on, like in just like here, like it just kind of changed like a certain direction in my life. And the next day I went back to work, and I had to do a pedicure for an old lady. And when I was doing pedicure for the old lady, I had to cut her toenail, and it was crazy. I had to cut her toenail, and her toenail hit my mouth. And it was like, I know, it was crazy. I mean, I love telling people that story, and then I hate telling people that story. But it hit my mouth, and that day I got up and I quit on the spot. And that week, I think I only made like $87. And I drove to the VFW. I was crying, and I prayed to God, and I just told him, like, you know, I'm ready to do this. Just help me do this. This is what I want to do. And then I hustled. I hustled my butt off to just be where I'm at, and just remembering like what he said, and just quitting, and just seeing like how it flourished up until now, like was amazing itself. Like the following week after that, I met Rick Ross. So it was happening like really, really fast. But it was just amazing to share a conversation with just what we think that their stature of people on TV. It's amazing to share a intimate conversation with them with just like, yeah, you should do this professionally, or like, you know, you just keep going. Like I like where you're going, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do that. Like I like it. It makes me feel good. So. And I'm really big on that. I feel like if you like to do something and it makes you really feel good, you need to keep doing it. Right. So that's how like I shared a conversation with Sean, and like and then now I'm really like I've been in contact. I've kept in contact with him, with his publicist, with his best friends, and like the connections are just like it's endless, and like they're good people. Like I just love that they're them. Right. Yeah.
That's cool though. Like that's so awesome. And then you said, so you quit your job, obviously. The toenail hit your mouth. More power to you for enduring that. But you said you hustled. You hustled. So right when you quit your job, how did the hustle start? You know what I mean? Like how did the transition go from being, you know, doing a nail art tech to Fiyab0mb?
So the hustle began when I kept drawing every single day. And at this point of my life, I was drawing a famous person every single day. Okay. And like it was famous people that you can tell if they were manually like controlling their Instagram or their social media. And like with it, like I made sure to just make sure like I was like kind of pursuing the fact that, okay, now you don't have a job, and now you really have to make sure you have to make ends meet, and whatever you have to do, you have to do. So like I would kind of promo myself to the point where like people, if they needed a logo design, email me. If you needed a portrait, email me. If you needed a tattoo drawing, email me. If you needed a blueprint of an architecture, email me. Like I made it so that like anything that I was going to do art-wise was universal, so that they would inquire about it. And the more that I kept doing like the orders, I would go back on Instagram and I would promote it saying, oh, you know, such and such, I just did a logo for such and such in New York or in Louisiana, and I would make the location like very like it was just scattered around, so that they know that it was just like, oh, okay, so she's just doing like work for everybody. But then as like I kept doing that, the clientele grew, and then the clientele it grew even more. Like when the celebrities that like I did artwork for, they would shout me out on their page, tag me, and then it was like it became endless, and to the point where I feel so blessed to be able to say that I'm able to do what I'm able to do now. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so drawing every day, just keeping it going, no matter what, even if you weren't making any money off of the drawings at the time. So then you taught yourself how to paint. You said like a year ago or so, right? So what is the transition from drawing to painting? Because some people think that, who don't really know art, think, well, if you could draw, you can paint, where that may not be the case. So what was the transition? Was it difficult or?
I don't think it was hard at all because I remember when I was at school, my professor told me that if you know how to draw, you can paint. And I was just like, really? And then I was just like, okay. And I went into the store one day and I was just like, okay, let me get some paintbrushes and acrylic paint and let me just like start this. And like when I even began, I fell in love with it because I'm just like, wow, this is like really easy. Like I just had to keep on practicing and I'm pretty sure I'll get better. And it was just like it happened so fast, the progress. And I was just like, okay, let me keep going, and then you'll get even more better. But then I guess I got like really good to the point where like, yeah, like people are just like, yeah, she's a painter and she's like really good. But the transition, it wasn't like far off. It was just like, it almost seemed like I was drawing with a pencil, just with a paintbrush instead. More smoother. Yeah. Yes,
just smoother lines. So you went on, of course, painting. Now you had 4 art galleries in the tri-state area. Yeah. So can you tell the people a little bit about them? Did each one have a theme, or how did you plan them?
Each of my galleries, so I've held 4 major galleries, and like usually like kind of major because I've held in and out of state galleries, but major meaning more like the capacity of the size of each gallery. It would double and then triple and then quadruple. Like it was crazy. But like my first gallery, it was dedicated to Drake's OVO. And Drake's OVO piece is 9 by 12 feet. So it was 9 feet high by 12 feet long, and like it was an unveiling of Drake's piece. And then my second one after that was All the Lights gallery. All the Lights gallery, it was a piece of just every single celebrity there. Like it was pieces of celebrities. It was just very like a motivating like gallery. And then my third gallery was a sex gallery, and sex just plays like a huge part in our like our time right now because just sex sells. Right. And like at the same time 50 Shades of Grey was coming out in theaters, so my gallery was named after 50 Shades of Firebomb. And then my last gallery I just held in Connecticut was oh my god, I'm sorry, I just had a brain for it. My last gallery in Connecticut was the last gallery. It was the Firebomb finale, and it had all my pieces that I've ever done on Instagram, whether they were sketches of drawings, or they were just mannequins, or they're furniture. It had my car. It had all these paintings I ever did. Just anything that was in my house was in that gallery. And it was amazing because the turnout was amazing. The just the capacity of just the people that came, the location of where people came from, like just knowing how far they flew, like just to come.
Wow.
Yeah, and
that's awesome.
And being able to like speak like in front of like just everybody, like that amount of people, like you get really nervous, but at the same time, like you're just here and you're just like, oh, okay, like this is okay, like this is it. And it was really big because at my at the sex gallery, I made an announcement of my relocation to Atlanta. Okay. And then making the announcements of my relocation, like I just made it kind of clear that, not that I was like leaving Connecticut dry, but it was just like to inform everybody that I'm starting this journey elsewhere with Connecticut on my back.
Right.
I want everyone to know where I'm from. And I'm not from Atlanta. I'm from the A60. And because I'm really proud of Connecticut and where I'm from. So,
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So you talked about your car, and it was in your last gallery. But let's talk about your car, because people who may not know you. Okay. Just saying your car, it's like, okay, so what? You basically redesigned your whole car, the whole paint job, and you did it yourself.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. That is a beautiful car, by the way. That is a beautiful car. So what gave you the idea to, I'm just going to paint my car?
My dad gave me a car, and the thing is, my car, they don't make the model anymore. It's discontinued. It's an Acura Integra. It's a 2000. And the thing is, when I didn't have a car, I used to walk to school, and the mileage of where like school is from where I live, it's like about 3 miles.
Wow.
Yeah. And so kind of like when he gave me the car, I saw it differently. I saw it as a canvas. And the thing, because the car used to be silver. So, and the thing is, like, I had taped it. I had made sure, like, just like all these like different designs were on it. And then it was one day. It was actually before all the lights gallery. I wanted to present my car at the gallery, but I wasn't able to because someone hit my car. And then the radiator cracked. And then the radiator cracked, and it was just bad from there. But it was just one day I didn't want to leave that project alone. I was just like, you know what? I've been telling people for such a long time, and it was a year later that I actually decided to paint it. Oh. Yeah, so I was just like, you know what? Paint your car. Paint your car today. And when I painted my car, it took 2 weeks. And the thing is, like, I love my car very, very much because of what it does. It gets me from A to Z. Like, it gets me from Connecticut to DC. It gets me from like to every gallery. And the thing is, like, with my car, like it's a really small car, but it holds so much weight. Like it's amazing, like what fits in my car. But I painted it one day, and it took me 2 weeks. I sanded it. I sanded my car down to the bare metal. I primed it. I spray painted it. And then I went and I did like the tribal work on it. And then I went and I did the car rims. Like, I cleaned out my car, and I wanted to present it to the next show. And the thing is, before my car was, before I hand painted the tribal designs on it, it was a tie-dye looking car. Yeah. And I'm really like, the thing about like my artwork a lot is that I'm very vibrant. And I feel like it reflects my personality a lot because I'm just like really outgoing and just really bright. And like I love those type of colors. And just so that like we're clear on this too, somebody made a comment about my car, and
was this on Instagram?
It was on Instagram. It's not that person, but
okay.
Someone had made a comment about my car just being tired, being like just the tone that they had described my car, it being old, it being tie-dye, it just like, I'm more like, you can call me whatever you want to call me. You can call me out my name. You can call me B word. You can say I'm weird. You can just say whatever you want about me. But when you talk about my art, just know that you add a whole lot of more fuel to the fire. And the thing is, the next day I went and I painted all those white designs on it, and I think that took like a day and a half. And I sat in the sun, and anything that I'm telling you right now, like when just sanding it was like a process. But I sat in the sun and I did all that work. Wow. And when I did all that work, it was just like it transpired into something so beautiful. And the thing is, I didn't remember that person talking shit about my car. I remembered how much work I put into this car and how much like it was gonna make people happy. Because when I drive around, people Snapchat it. They roll down their windows. They take out their phones. They video my car. Like I went to the gym like maybe 3 weeks ago, and I parked my car. Any other time I would have parked my car on the end of the gym, right? Because my car, it was old, it was dingy looking, and I parked my car right in the front, right next to a 2014 Mercedes-Benz. And I know they're not looking at the Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah, and it felt, and it was a moment of just like, I loved the fact that I was just able to park right next to that car, knowing that this car has nothing on my car.
Of course.
And it made me, and honestly, like, just the way that my car makes me feel even now, like when I go to the store and when I walk outside of the store and I like walk towards my car, I look at my car as if it's like the hottest guy in the world. Like, I love looking at my car because it gives me so much energy. And then even now, so the person that made a comment about my car, she drives a Honda, and I just want to let you know. I just want to let you know, and like more humbly said, when was the last time you ever heard someone say, "Let me take a picture in front of that Honda"? Okay, so yeah,
that's it.
But I love my car very much. Thank you.
So looking at your car and looking at your artwork, so how different was it creating this masterpiece as opposed to one on the canvas?
I want to say it's very different just because the mediums are so different, and like I feel like usually when I paint on a canvas, I know what I'm going to do on a canvas.
Okay.
When I had to paint my car, I had to take more into caution where I had to like really study it.
Okay.
Study like what paint do I have to use, what kind of sandpaper do I have to use.
Okay.
And this is like a really funny story, but like I went to Mako. I went to like all these places asking them like, you know, questions and all that. I've called like auto body places, and every single time they would like, a couple of them they hung up in my face. They were like really mean to me. I went to one place in it's in Southington. It's not too far from where I live right now, but like they basically were just like, yeah, we only do accidents. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, can you just let me know what like sandpaper to use? And then they were just like, you can look up it online. And I was just like, oh, okay. I didn't even say thank you. I just walked away. And it was a hard day because the thing is, I was just like, okay, like this is, I know that I feel like I was prejudged because I'm a woman.
Right.
And on top of that, I was young. And like, it just kind of gave me more of just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to look up everything on YouTube, and I'm just going to like find out for myself what I need to use. And then it would just go from there. And then when I went and I looked it up on YouTube, I did everything that YouTube told me to do, and then this is how this baby came out. Yeah.
Well, it came out beautiful. I
Thank
mean,
you.
Sometimes they say when you have to do everything yourself, it just makes it that much more worthwhile.
Yeah.
So on your Instagram, I've noticed recently that you do giveaways.
Yes.
Right? And you give out your art. I mean, I'm at work, so I can't really hear the rules to win. So, but shout out to everyone who has one. What prompted you to want to give away your artwork?
I love my followers very much. I appreciate them because the thing is, if it wasn't for any of them, I wouldn't be where I am right now. If it wasn't for God, it wasn't for my family, my support system here in Connecticut. Like, honestly, I feel like my followers played like such a huge role in my support because they constantly tag, they constantly give me feedback about my artwork, they constantly give me positive hopes and vibes about my artwork in return. And like, I love to give back and do something special for them. So even if it means, okay, let me give away free artwork from college days, I want them to have it.
Okay.
I want them to appreciate, I want them to know that I appreciate them no matter where they are, where they're from, how far they're out of Connecticut. I want them to know, because you support Fiyab0mb supports you, and Fiyab0mb cares about you. Like, it's not like, I don't want it to look like it's like for personal self-gain,
right.
but I want them to know that like, I'm just like, if they need hope, if they need inspiration, if they need uplift, I want them to come to my page and constantly see the motivational quotes. I want them to constantly see the positive attitude, the positive vibes. I want it to kind of turn their day around, where if they were feeling low, they could feel high now.
Okay. Got you. And I mean, I feel like everyone that has won something of yours is very appreciative. I don't think you've had any complaints to date. And speaking of no complaints to date, you have a celebrity clientele, a few different celebrities. Aside from Big Sean, you know, how did you get in contact with, or how did other artists or celebrities get in contact with you, and what type of work did you do?
This is where my followers play like a huge part.
Okay.
So a lot of the time, like, my followers would tag these artists and they would keep adding them constantly, consistently, and then they would see the picture.
Okay.
That's why I love my followers very much. They're very loyal, and they've been so good to me. And then when I've met Rick Ross, Big Sean's publicist tagged the vice president of Maybach Music Crew, which I'm friends with now. He's awesome. And like I've gotten in contact with Rick Ross through him. My followers, they would text with Beats, Hill Harper, was it Waka Flocka, Steve Aoki, Travis Scott, Fabulous. Sometimes I'm sorry, like I forget people. Like,
it's all good. It's all good.
A lot, but yeah. But like they're just so good about it, and they're good to me about it. So like it forms like a crazy bond just amongst of like just me being the artist, and then just forming like a circle, which is all these professionals, entrepreneurs. Yeah, the higher.
Yeah. And what kind of work do they ask you to do?
Paintings. Okay. So it'll be paintings, it'll be acrylic paintings, but they're large scale work. So they're like really massive and big, and like just size and dimensions. They'll be feet wide, like feet long. So.
Okay, so what's the biggest painting you've done?
The biggest painting I've done is of Beyonce, and it's 16 feet high, 12 feet long, and it's in my house.
And how long
did it take me?
Did it take you?
It took me 2 days to do it. Yeah.
2 days?
Yeah, I'm a really fast worker. I'm a really, really fast worker.
2 days?
Yeah.
For 16 feet?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It took me 2 days, and that's one sitting.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Oh, that's dope. But I'm a little sad though, because you're leaving us. You're going to Atlanta.
I'm leaving, but I'm leaving with the whole entire tri-state on my back. I rep 860 to the fullest. I love Connecticut very much. I love up north. I just want to see how I would become what I would become in a major city. Okay. In a major city that wasn't too close to home.
Right.
So like that's why New York was out of the picture. Yeah.
So what do you plan to do in Atlanta? Anything different than what you're doing now?
Everything that I did in Connecticut, I plan on doing in Atlanta, but 10 times better.
Well, that's good. You gotta grow, right?
Yeah. Like anything that I did before, I always push myself to make sure, okay, you know what? If you're gonna do this again, now you gotta do it 100 times better. What made it like this way before, as opposed to like where it could be now? And I don't like staying stagnant. I don't like staying comfortable. I don't like staying in the same place. I'm constantly growing and changing. So I want my artwork to reflect the same.
Right. Yeah. Right. So. Last question real quick. Okay. What is your favorite type of artwork to create? I mean, I know you do like the melted crayons, right? You know, I feel like that's more like your staple, your signature. I know you do the big pieces, but what is your favorite type, you know, out of all of the different things you do, what is the favorite type?
My favorite type, I want to say my favorite type of art is three-dimensional. Okay. So like I've been doing a lot of paintings, but I'll add like gold buttons, I'll add crayons, anything that's of an object, I'll add it to the painting, so that it becomes more 3D, so that people are just like, oh wow, she did this with crayons, oh wow, she did this with gummy bears, oh wow, she did this with such and such. I want it to be like so controversial to the point where people are just like, how does she do this? And it's more like thought-provoking.
I agree, just like the piece you did with Zendaya about a week ago, or not even so. Okay, so since you're leaving us, us as in the tri-state area, how can we keep up with you? How can we contact you? How can we keep knowing what you're doing in the future? Let everybody know.
Well, I'm really big on my Instagram. I post a lot on my Instagram. You can find me on my Instagram at Fiyab0mb. If you go to my page, you can contact me by email, which is fiyab0mb@icloud.com.
Oh, okay. Perfect. So, thank you so much, Olivia.
Thank you.
Yay! Yeah, thank you so much. Again, one of the dopest artists out there. Make sure you follow her, because I feel like if they don't follow you now, they're just going to end up following you anyway. Like, that's the kind of theory I have right now. So if you haven't followed her, and if you meet her, say hi, Olivia, because she doesn't really go by Fiyab0mb. only on Instagram she goes by Fiyab0mb, but thank you so much, and make sure you follow her on Instagram at Fiyab0mb, which will be in the description and on the video tag. It's Diandra Marie, and we out!